So today I'm going to talk about Peru's culture. So let's get started. Okay, so Peru is in South American continent. It borders Ecuador to the south, Brazil and Bolivia to the west, and Colombia to the southwest, and Chile to the north. Peru borders the South Pacific Ocean to the west, as you can see right here. All the countries. So, economy. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Peru is the most dynamic Latin American country, experiencing strong economic growth over the years due to foreign direct investment, U.S. by coming from the U.S. Department of State. This country has well-managed economy and an established tax collection system, growing revenues and increasing private investments. So its resources, Peru relies on fossil fuels and attracts, of course, tourists and major economic activities. The Peruvian government has taken the initiative to enhance and promote effective incentives for private sector investments in oil exploration to improve efficiency. Besides, Peru is Peru is an important tourist destination. For example, Peru receives over 200,000 Americans every year for business, tourism, and education. And then, of course, with the religion, they are predominantly Christian. About 96.5% Peruvians are Christians. So ethnic religiousness make up a small population of the Peruvian population. Okay, a little bit of their history. So Peru has a stable and democratic government. In this case, the Peruvian government has an executive arm led by the president and council of ministers. The Peruvian government has the legislative and judicial arms that develop, interpret laws, and their independence has endured political challenges since its independence. It remains stable. For instance, like San Martin proclaimed Peruvian independence from Spain on 28th of July in 1821. After its independence, Peru engaged in irregular territorial conflicts with neighboring countries over boundaries. And the way of life, Peruvians have diverse ways of life. The coastal mestizo Hispanic culture stands out from the varied and traditional values of Andeans living in the mountainous highlands. However, the ongoing economic development, access to education, intermarriage, and large-scale rural to urban immigration create a more homogeneous national culture. Here we are. We have different types of dances. So La Diabla dance fuses mestizo culture. It's an indigenous culture and Christianity, representing the epic struggle between the archangel San Miguel and the infernal hosts. It is popular among the Andeans. And then you have the Hayano dance, which is very popular through the Peruvian highlands. They are known for to do this type of dance during festivals and community gatherings, and they express joy during the festivity. Ooh, my favorite here, the foods. So, of course, we have different foods and stuff like that in Peru. So one is going to be ceviche. And it's eaten across, of course, morning and afternoon. They prepare this meal with fresh fish and specific spices, means of conserving nature. Um, and then they also prepare ceviche during festivals, family gatherings, and celebrations to signify their identity as a people connected to the sea. And then we're also gonna have, sorry, excuse my language, but the lomo saltado includes fried meat, onions, tomatoes, french fries, and white rice. This is a combination of Peruvian indigenous and Chinese culture and reflects the country's multicultural history. It's a versatile meal served during lunch and dinner at Peruvian homes, and they use this to reflect their rich culinary heritage and symbolizes Peru's Chinese Peruvian, which is pretty cool. Never realized that until you do some digging. Pachamanca, a traditional meal for Andeans, and this is cooked in the ground using hot stones. They wrap various ingredients in harango or corn leaves to enhance the flavor. And the process of this, it brings people together. So they prepare it whenever they have like big gatherings and share stories and all the good stuff. So basically just a company of your loved ones. All right, so of course, the language. Spanish speakers account for 80,000 of Peruvians. It is their dominant language, and they do have some English and other European languages in the tourist areas in the major cities. So during the pre-Hispanic period, they're still spoken today. Oh, sorry. The popular languages are Quechua and Aymara, and those are the pre-Hispanic periods. They're still spoken, and in tropical areas, people have a diverse linguistic heritage influenced by the indigenous people. All right, so we have celebrations and holidays. So the festival of Marina involves a sensuous courting dance with Spanish and African roots. This festival takes place during the third week of January, entre Julio. Peruvians commemorate Mineria to celebrate their diverse cultural identity. And then you, of course, have the festival of the Virgin, the Candelaria. This involves religious celebrations and colorful dances, and Peruvians celebrate the festival of this during the 2 weeks of February in the city of Puno. So Corpus Christi is a celebration of Spanish and indigenous cultures. Corpus Christi traces its origin to when Spaniards arrived in Peru and observed that indigenous people celebrated the sun god. So the Peruvians merged two festivals because they focused on glorifying idols. Corpus Christi takes place on the 24th June in the city of Cusco. And they conduct this festival at the beginning of the sowing season. Both the Corpus Christi by the Spaniards and the Inti Raymi were festivals dedicated to the idols that took place in June, as you can see. So my culture, I am South Korean, and I'm a little mixed, but I figured this pick one culture that is a little bit more familiar with. So in Peru and South Korea are similar because, we also celebrate a big festival called, excuse me, I'm not really good at saying this like correctly, but the Gangnam Danohoi festival to pay tribute to the mountain deity. And basically, we have male and female tutelary idols, and this is like one of the festivals that, both different idols, but both festivals still celebrate the same kind of thing. So the level of physical activity that's involved, the ruling class in South Korea celebrates the Kao Bangwang Ho, Buddhist ritual for Thanksgiving and strengthening their ties. Celebrations in South Korea have a Buddhist or Confucian origin. However, Corpus Christi is a Christian festival influenced by Catholicism, introduced in Peru by Spaniards. Besides, the South Korean festivals differ from the Peruvian ones in terms of the level of physical ritual and performances. So, like, for example, the Hang Hawaii or the Chuseok festival in South Korea involves symbols like bowing in front of ancestors' graves. Such activities are more ritual and symbolic. And then in Peru, most festivals such as Corpus Christi involve acting, singing, and more dancing. So, of course, Peruvians are just more in like physical activities, and besides South Korea is going to be more serious and quiet. And that is the end, everyone. I hope everyone learned a little something today. I was really shocked of, digging some research about Peru, and I was like, okay, very interesting. But everyone, have a good day, and thank you for listening.